and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Well, it's a tie. It's a tie. Oh, no. Remember I said this before on the show? That the election is going to be a battle between two old dogs, Biden and Trump. Because eventually, if Trump is able to walk away from these legal troubles and Trump wins a Republican nomination and Biden is there too, we're going to see two old men fight over the cold bowl of soup. And that cold bowl of soup is America. No matter how this plays out, we're screwed. Biden and Trump virtually tied in a hypothetical match. President Biden and former President Trump, the frontrunners in their parties' respective 2024 primaries, are virtually tied in a hypothetical matchup, according to a poll. The Quinnipiac University poll released Wednesday found that 47% of respondents would support Biden and 46% would support Trump in a hypothetical general election matchup between the two. Biden has a slight edge with independent voters. I don't see how that's possible, with 45% saying they would support him and 41% saying they would support Trump. What a surprise there. 3% of respondents said that they were undecided, and 2% said that they would vote for someone besides Biden and Trump, and 2% said that they would not vote as well. So there we go, would not vote. So again, if the election for president were being held today and the candidates were Biden and Trump, who would you vote for? Oh, it's basically, it's anyone's game. Biden was 47%, Trump was 46%, undecided 3% wouldn't vote. Somebody else. Again, it's all going to be up in the air. But see, Biden is in a very precarious spot, and I will get to why this tie will eventually break, or either that, why the Democratic Party might eventually, maybe a little bit later, pick somebody else. Because let's be clear here, vote blue no matter who, just to trigger K-Hive here. Biden and Harris's approval ratings are in the toilet. People don't like them. People don't care about them. People don't respect them. Why? Because this administration has made it abundantly clear how they feel about the American people. The economy is not doing great. Inflation is real. Buying food, medicine, paying the bills is literally killing people. You got Americans working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Owning a home, that is a dream. Renting an apartment, well, good luck, because in some major metropolitan cities, it costs, what, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000? No one has that kind of money. No one has that kind of money. You got students still struggling with student debt, and while there is talk of, Biden's going to pardon it, watch, there's going to be some sort of legal issue that's going to tie up Biden's hands, and he's not going to do it. Medicare for all, not a thing that's going to happen. And not to mention, it's not only just Biden, but Democrats as a whole are losing the support they once had. Look at the quote-unquote progressives that were supposed to restore the Democratic Party. Look at those people. AOC or Bernie Sanders. Their movement is dead, just as Democrats is laying off all of its people. Brand new Congress, irrelevant. Our revolution, redundant. DSA voted to remain a political arm and part of the Democratic Party. And with numbers like these, again, I'm just waiting for the fear tactics. And by the way, vote blue no matter who. Your recent fear tactics of voting third party. Oh, what? Cornel West is going to steal votes? How can he steal votes that didn't belong to you in the first place? You got to earn our votes. And how could you spoil something that's already rotten and withering with maggots? The Quinnipiac poll noted that while its polling has generally shown a close race between Biden and Trump, this 1 point margin is the tightest one this year. It added that Biden held the biggest lead over former president last month with 49% of support compared to Trump's 44%. Again, every time Trump has legal issues or going to court, again, you're going to get people who are going to want to support Trump. Again, vote blue no matter who. You think Trump's legal problems are going to cause him trouble? It's going to make him more popular. Neither candidate's favorability rating tops 50% among registered voters. The poll found 40% said that they have a favorable opinion of Biden, while 38% said they have a favorable opinion of Trump. A separate poll conducted by the Associated Press, NORC Center of Public Affairs Research, also released Wednesday, found that 53% of Americans said that they would definitely not support Trump. Trump. But see, Biden's got problems. And I want to pull up this video. Shout out to Dirtbag Leftist, good friend of the show on Twitter. Captured this prediction from Kim Iverson. I want to play this video for all of you to enjoy. I want to get your thoughts on this. So let's play it for all you lovely people.
I do think they're actually going to be getting rid of Joe Biden. I think they also want to get rid of Kamala Harris while they're at it because no one likes her either. So I think the way they're going to do it is they're going to act like Biden is the guy all the way up through the primaries. When the primaries are over, they're still going to say Biden's the guy, that he defeated handedly RFK Jr. and Marianne Williamson, and that Joe Biden is obviously the nominee. And then right before the convention, I think they're going to be moving him aside. My guess, if I were a betting woman, I would say that they're going to be putting in Gavin Newsom. And we saw when they chose Kamala Harris, they tried to shove her down our throats, but it didn't work because nobody liked Kamala Harris. So they need to get rid of both of them. They're not going to be able to just move Biden aside. So how are they going to get out of this dilemma that they're in? How are they going to get Joe Biden to move aside, get Kamala Harris to move aside, and get somebody else in? And their only strategy is to not hold a primary, but instead go straight to the convention, have Joe Biden suddenly, he says, okay, there's just too much going on with my family. I need to worry about my son and my family and my life. And so I am not going to run for another term. So they're going to want him to ride out his term all the way to the end. But what they're going to want to do come that July convention is they're going to want him, after they give them the anointed one, their next anointed one, they're going to want him to campaign alongside that person, shaking hands, waving. And here's the new person. Here's Gavin Newsom. Here's Gavin Newsom. And I want everybody to vote for Gavin Newsom. And he's the guy. He's the one we want. He's the one we love because he's super ultra establishment. And he's clearly the one that they have picked.
Specifically for a California audience. If you're from the great state of California, there's no such thing as a wrong answer. There isn't, and there won't be. Give us, all of us lovely people who live outside the great state of California, your thoughts on Gavin Newsom. Is he doing a great job, or is he doing a crappy job? Tell us how you really feel about Gavin Newsom. I could give an outsider's perspective. Never before have I seen a governor screw up a state so bad that's causing a mass exodus of people leaving. But that's just me. I'm just a saying.
To succeed Joe Biden, and it's their way of getting rid of Kamala Harris. Why? Because you can't have two of them from California.
Hold on. We got Popeye the Sailor says Newsom will get me to vote for Trump. Oh. Hold on. What else we got here? Larry says, and he looks like Dracula. Damn. Oh, you people are brutal. Hold on. Popeye the Sailor, I hated that punk since he was a city council member. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Hold on. Everyone's saying the only thing that's good about him is his hair. He wakes up and snaps his hair into place. Yep. Dwayne Vogel says, if Gavin Newsom was doing a great job, there wouldn't be so many homeless people there. True. It's one big clown show. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yep. I also want to pull up this video here because, again, I mentioned earlier why Biden could be having some troubles and why this eventual tie with Trump will eventually become so close, or either that Trump is going to start edging ahead, because we have to look at the failure of his son, Hunter Biden. Bombshell smoking gun emails proves Joe Biden hid under a fake secret identity, Jack, to cover up criminal bribery. Don't believe me? Let's watch this.
Was using while he was vice president of the United States. There was only one person copied on that email to Robert L. Peters. You know who that person was?
Robert L. Peters. There you go. But also, I kind of like how they put a fake mustache on Biden.
Hunter Biden, who at the time was getting paid $1 million a year to work for a filthy, dirty energy company located in Ukraine. At that point, in the spring of 2016, Ukraine's president, Petro Poroshenko, had just fired prosecutor Viktor Shokin after Joe Biden threatened to withhold $1 billion of our money. The move, of course, famous now when Biden bragged about it 2 years after it happened.
I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a...
Ha, see? Biden, it's all about the dollars, all about the money. And by the way, this video is from January 23rd, 2018.
Got fired.
A moment that will forever haunt Joe Biden. So let's noodle with this for just a moment. It's clear that Biden wanted this information about this phone call with Poroshenko away from his work email. But this document wasn't sent to Joe Biden 1942 at gmail.com. It was sent to Robert L. Peters. And it was also sent to his son. Just sit and think for a few minutes about a non-sinister reason for that. A non-sinister reason that Joe Biden would need an email alias, Robert Peters, a completely fake identity.
I'm Robert Peters, Jack. By the way, that's such a terrible nickname. It's almost on par to Anthony Weiner and Carlos Danger. Remember that? Remember Carlos Danger? By the way, for those of you who don't know, Anthony Weiner is somewhat, maybe kind of sort of responsible for why Hill Dog also lost 2016. He wasn't the main reason, but he was a contributing factor. Way to go, Carlos Danger. Way to go, buddy.
Why would that identity also be tethered to his son, who also got the same email? 50-year-old man who was getting paid filthy, dirty money from all over the world. And the family was all getting paid. Try as hard as you can to think of a reason that's not totally corrupt for this kind of behavior. Noodle with it all night and try to think of something. Tweet it at me. I wish you good luck. I've been thinking about it all day. I can't think of one. And you begin to wonder where else Robert L. Peters' emails show up. And
good old Robert L. Peters and Carlos Danger. Two normal guys just living their lives. Think about it. There might be a Robert L. Peters, and there might actually truly be somebody named Carlos Danger out there. And they got to really hide themselves because of what these politicians have done. I doubt it, though.
And there were other aliases that Biden used as well. Robin Ware and JRB Ware.
Robin Ware? Where's Robin? JRB? Where are you, man? Come on, Jack.
How many honest people do you know that aren't faithful spies to a government who would need multiple aliases? Think about that. And remember, before Joe Biden used our money to get Viktor Shokin fired to benefit Burisma, in 2014, the United States was engaged in an effort to claw back assets that were possessed by Burisma's owner, Mykola Zlochevsky. That's Hunter Biden's boss, the man who says he paid Joe and Hunter $5 million for protection from the government of Ukraine.
It's almost like this war in Ukraine, there's an incentive for us to be involved in it. But why? Why?
His company was operating. Held assets that belonged to the people of Ukraine. The United States was trying to get assets from this man back to the people of Ukraine. And Hunter Biden and his father were being paid to protect him from that process. A State Department official described it like this. This actually happened during Trump's impeachment hearings. Take a listen.
In February of 2015, I raised my concern that Hunter Biden's status as a board member could create the perception of a conflict of interests.
A perception of a conflict of interest. Another government stooge who can see everything but the obvious. George Kent was a Democrat witness during Trump's first impeachment when Democrats tried to destroy his presidency for asking questions about Joe Biden's now very obvious dealings in Ukraine. George Kent probably still believes there's no clear evidence that Biden had anything to do with his son's foreign business dealings. The same thing you hear from CNN and MSNBC all day long, and the major networks don't even cover the story. Even though we now know that Biden was using multiple aliases while sharing information.
But there's more to this. I want to pull up this video here because, again, look, vote blue no matter who. This is your dog Biden, your old dog Biden that you have in the race. Turns out he's built a career of corruption. That's right. Bernie Sanders' good friend, AOC. Remember how Biden exceeded expectation? There's the ebbs and flows. Turns out you guys are standing behind someone who's so corrupt that his whole house of lies are starting to fall down. Now, I wonder how AOC and Bernie are going to do their mental gymnastics to try and defend Biden. They're just probably going to say, we got to stop Trump. We got to stop Trump. Trump, who lives rent-free in everybody's head. But again, look, these are serious accusations and evidence that's being presented before the American people about Joe Biden and his son Hunter. And again, if this happened under Trump's administration, you know that Rachel Maddow and everyone else would be screaming from the rooftop about how this is a threat to the republic.
Right now, he is preparing for an international summit, and officials around here are trying to put the focus on problems overseas. That is because, as you will see right here, things at home are not looking so good for the White House right now. Hey, President Biden! Not much depth today at the White House or in Scranton.
Can you tell us about your Hawaii trip, sir?
No, not now.
Or at Joint Base Andrews.
Are you willing to share what your goals are for the summit, sir?
Not till I finish.
The silence comes as Americans struggle financially. Just 35% of voters say their personal financial situation is excellent or good. 65% say it's fair or poor in a new Fox poll. Grocery prices are a problem for 87%, gas prices for 85%, utility costs for 81%.
Now, those are some high numbers. And again, Joe 30330 and all the vote blue no matter who people, things are getting worse. Hey, Joy Bear from The View, you said the economy's doing great. Well, that's because you live in an ivory tower and you have people working for you hand to foot, all right? They're always there. They're always there to help you out. They're always there to be nice to you. When's the last time you had to make a choice between buying medicine or paying the bills or buying groceries? Yeah, it's probably been a long time, Joy. And before anyone says, you don't understand, well, listen, she's one of these rich celebrity people. We have all these celebrity people, these pundits, these people on social media who are in positions of power because of their connections with the media or the establishment, saying that life is great under Biden. Let's have democracy in the chat. Type 1 if your life improved when Biden got into office and everything's great. Type 2, no, it is not improved. It costs $300 to go outside, and I don't know how I'm going to make it past tomorrow.
Leaving just 3 in 10 voters satisfied with how things are going in the country. All of this undermines President Biden's boasting about Bidenomics yesterday.
Guess what? It's working.
Oh, God, the way he whispers.
That's as House Republicans wonder, is Joe Biden Robert Peters? Oversight Committee Chair James Comer writes to the National Archives on May 27, 2016. Vice President Biden took a call with the president of Ukraine, Petro Poroshenko. It is concerning to the committee, however, that this document was sent to Robert L. Peters, a pseudonym the committee has identified as then Vice President Biden, adding, quote, Joe Biden has stated there was an absolute wall between his family's foreign business schemes and his duties as vice president.
What I will do is the same thing we did in our administration. There will be an absolute wall between personal and private and the government.
Hey, Bernie, that's your good friend, Joe Biden. Bernie, you cuck. God damn it. I really regret. And the fact I got to live with the L of saying kind words or being in support of Bernie Sanders, I have to carry that for the rest of my life. I feel so ashamed of myself. Like, literally, I again, the fact that cuck, Bernie Sanders, was able to trick a lot of people. And you know what? I'm going to stay true to that. He tricked people. He didn't fight. If you were a delegate for Bernie Sanders, he abandoned you. In 2016 and in 2020, we saw that firsthand. Now, everyone's going to say, well, gee, kid, maybe you're exaggerating. No, I'm not. Because I remember when I covered the 2016 primary, getting started in this whole field of independent media, I saw what happened to Bernie Sanders delegates. And then comes 2020. I have the audacity to think that Bernie was going to be ready. And no, what does he do? Not only does he bend over and take it up the wazoo, but he bends over backwards once again to appease the Democratic Party after he screwed him for a second time. For somebody like Joe Biden, who has been on the wrong side of history for his entire political career.
But evidence reveals that access was wide open for his family's influence peddling. At the time, the Obama-Biden administration said aliases are normal.
If they are inundated in one account with...
Oh, wow. Hey, this is 2013. Who was president? Oh, that's right. A guy named Obama.
Either public emails or spam or the like, that they can continue to use their other account for normal work.
That doesn't explain everything, and this president is now going to need somebody new to explain things to investigators because the White House counsel Stuart Dellery is leaving. Officials
The White House counsel is leaving? Oh, no.
around here haven't told us who the new top lawyer is going to be, but whoever that person is, on their first day, they're going to have a full inbox.
I don't envy that person. And by the way, if you guys want to be disgusted even further and vomit inside your brain, here we got Ro Khanna. That's right. Row your boat, Ro Khanna. Shout out again to Case Study QB. He's wrongly being censored on Twitter. I call it Phoenix. He's going to play just not the whole 5 minutes of it, but of course he's going to talk about the Trump indictment. Yeah, that's nothing new. There's a reason why these two individuals are tied. Both Trump and Biden are the same. They're the same. The only difference is Trump only served 4 years in politics. And yes, he was a businessman, but he bought the politicians. Biden has been in power for decades and was one of the leading architects of this neoliberal nightmare that we are in. You want to know why Trump survived so many bankruptcy laws and so many other times he faced bankruptcy? It's because of the rules and regulations that Democratic and Republican lawmakers put in place so that the top 1% can thrive off of our blood, our sweat, our tears, our pain. So let's listen to Ro Khanna and his analysis. Don't worry, I'll make sure I won't play it too long because this guy is difficult for me to listen to. By the way, shout out to Sabby Sabs. I don't know how you made it through that interview when you had him on your show.
Hunter Biden actually in a moment, but first Donald Trump, right? Because we got 4 indictments, 91 criminal charges. I have to keep saying that to myself because I mean, it's pretty.
Okay, no one cares. I don't care. Hey, let's have democracy in the chat. Do you care about these Trump indictments? I mean, does it weigh on your mind? Type 3 for yes, kid, it does, because this is important because we gotta do something about corruption and bad politicians. Type 4. No, I don't. I don't care. I mean, there's politicians who are doing worse than this. And by the way, that is true. If you think Trump's the bad guy, no, there are people who are far, far, far more vile than Donald Trump. They're just really good at hiding themselves.
Incredible. 91. But it's not just that he's the clear GOP frontrunner. The people, Republicans don't think he should be charged. I mean, sure, you see Ramaswamy rising and we'll see what happens with that. But nothing has moved the needle. Absolutely nothing has moved the needle. Does anything?
Because he's popular. God damn it, CNN. I can't wait for you to go bankrupt. CNN, a media network, blows $250 million on this streaming service, CNN Plus. Give me $250 million. Put me in the game, coach. I'm ready. I'll show you what I can do. Stupid CNN.
Well, first of all, we have to have the process play out with law enforcement. The seriousness of the charge is that he tried to overturn a election. That goes to the heart.
No, he didn't.
Part of democracy. But look, I was talking, Aaron, to someone this morning who's a DeSantis supporter who said that the indictments are making him more sympathetic to Donald Trump and that this is a sentiment among Republicans. So there's no doubt that this is actually strengthening him in the Republican field. I don't think it's going to help him with independence.
No, but it is amazing. You're talking to a DeSantis supporter. That is where we've seen the erosion, at least in that poll Harry was just showing. All right. Now on Hunter Biden, you saw nearly half of all Americans aren't confident that the Justice Department is handling the Hunter Biden investigation in a fair and nonpartisan manner. 32% are confident. Those aren't good numbers for the institution of justice. You were one of the rare Democrats to raise questions about Twitter's handling originally of how they handled the Hunter Biden laptop story. And you've
Yeah, he's one of the Democrats in theory, but you do realize that he's also on board for censoring other dissenting voices, and that, don't let's not turn somebody like that into a saint because he ain't one.
stood by that. You and I have talked about that. So what do you think about this probe now? Are Americans wrong to question the DOJ probe? And do you support that that the special counsel is now a special counsel?
Well, I think we need more communication. And I think that the appointment of David Weiss as the special counsel will help. If he comes to Congress and testifies, my sense is that the process has been followed, that the Justice Department has given him the authority to make any decision, and that the more he can be transparent and communicate, the better.
All right. So do you feel what did you think when your reaction to what we were saying, that Hunter Biden coming up, they don't bring it up around the president? He doesn't want to hear it.
I think the president deeply, deeply loves his son.
Oh, he loves his son. Oh, gee, Ro Khanna. Way to be a typical politician. Again, this is the same Ro Khanna that's going to be saying in just a little bit in this video how, again, don't underestimate Biden. Here, we'll just fast forward just a little bit here.
So you're well aware of the polls. The latest Associated Press poll finds 75% of Americans do not want Joe Biden to run for president. That is a higher number than Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump's number is bad. Okay, it's 69%.
Yeah, but here's the thing. As time continues to progress forward, as more of Biden's scandals come to light, that number is going to rise up higher and higher. And by the way, in comparison to Trump, Biden has been a professional in working with the top 1%. Never forget that Biden said he'd gladly prostitute himself to corporate donors. All right? Trump went on record for the first Republican primary back in 2016 when the conversation of money in politics was brought up. Trump said the quiet part loud. I give these people money and they do what I say. Never forget he said it. It flew over a lot of people's head. Trump gave away the secret sauce. I give these people money and they do what I say.
But Joe Biden's number is worse. More Americans don't want Joe Biden to run than don't want Donald Trump to run. How do you even synthesize that?
Aaron, I was on the other side of President Biden when I chaired.
Oh, God, yeah. So here, he was on the other side. So that means he was with Bernie to cuck Sanders. Listen to this answer.
Bernie Sanders' campaign. I remember when he entered, there were a lot of Democrats who didn't think he should be running then. And people have consistently underestimated this president. The polls don't matter. You know what matters is how he actually does.
The polls don't matter. So, gee, Ro, I don't know if you remember the 2020 primary like I do, but I remember when, number one, everyone was first promoting Kamala, then Beto Maestork, then Pete Buttigieg, and even the Klobuchar. All of them failed. They kept on throwing someone to stick at the wall, and then Biden was their last resort. And don't forget, all of corporate media was saying, gee, Biden's stuttering and stammering. He doesn't look in peak physical condition, because everyone didn't want the cuck Bernie Sanders to win the nomination. But somehow, he won. Everyone underestimated him, right? I think none of us were really expecting a Obama phone call. You got to get out and get people to televote for Biden. Buttigieg, Klobuchar. I got to be clear. You got to drop out.
He defeated Donald Trump. He had a
questions.
A midterm election that was better than expected. He has passed significant legislation. The economy is much better than people thought it would be.
And that's enough of that. The economy's doing great. Oh, there's a massive rise of homelessness. Who cares? So long as we got the orange man out of the White House, everything is A-OK. According to people like AOC. So, folks, it comes to no surprise why there's a tie. Why there's a tie between Trump and Biden. But I have to agree with Kim Iverson's earlier statement. It wouldn't surprise me if at the very last minute or halfway through the primary, Biden has to drop out. Now, they're not going to pick Kamala. She's not popular. She constantly laughs and, well, she's just uncomfortable to be around. So let's have a final question to you, the audience. Type 5 if you think the DNC is going to stick with Biden through and through to the end. A type 6 if you think, no, somewhere down the line, they're going to replace him. Because as we continue to press forward, all these scandals surrounding Biden and his son are going to come to light. Everything's going to hatch out. And Trump, yeah, this isn't his first time dealing with legal issues. And there's a very good chance he could walk away from this. Don't be surprised that if he does, his numbers and his approval rating continues to rise up and up. We live in a crazy world, folks. And I got to say, I hope 2024 will be very entertaining because 2023 right now has been a wonderful appetizer. I can't wait for the main course. Stay tuned to Hard Lens Media.